It had rained all day, so when he left his appointment, he was careful to avoid the puddles. He finally made it to the street corner that was across from the train that would take him home, when he heard a small croaking noise. He looked down at the puddle by his feet. A small, red-eyed frog rose from the depths of the puddle and stared at him. He thought it was strange to see a frog this far north, especially one with red eyes. But in that moment, staring into these frogs' eyes, he was instantly transported back to his life as a bootlegger. Back during the great plastic straw band of the early 2000s, he and his heterosexual life mate Sam had made a plan. They were going to get plastic straws from Mexico, sell them, and retire with that money to California and live on the beach as kings, sipping margaritas. Damn-ass hell kings, but kings nonetheless. They had struck a deal with Norma Jean, the voodoo queen of New Orleans, who was supposedly 300 years old, didn't look a day over 25. She looked good. She had owned a number of establishments in the city, restaurants, nightclubs, speakeasies. So they had been working for her for about 3 months now. And they sat in the fan boat and waited for the shipment to come from their contact in Juarez. Little did he know that Sam had double-crossed him. The shipment had actually come in 2 nights prior, and Sam had sold the shipment to her, the Voodoo Queen's rival, a Mr. Sidney Greenstreet. This shipment that was coming in was composed of paper straws and malfunctioned and broken plastic straws, ones that were closed at one end. So, the bad shipment arrived. And, like always, they packed it up and took it to the Voodoo Queen. Now, before the Voodoo Queen did any business dealings, any sort of meetings, she would pull tarot cards. So they found her naturally sitting at her tarot table, all set up with her little crystal ball. And they, like I said, they worked for 3 months. They were used to this. So she pulled a card. His card was the Fool. Sam's card was treason. And in that moment, she saw Sam's deception. She had sicked her attack frogs on them. They were green with black spots, red glowing eyes, roughly the size of pit bulls, and had 2 rows of razor-sharp teeth in their mouth. Sam and him fled into the bayou, screaming, being chased by these devil frogs. Rage had filled him. How could his friend betray him after all this time? He saw his opportunity when he grabbed a nearby stick and struck Sam in the knee, crippling him. As the attack frogs surrounded Sam and descended on him, Sam screamed and begged for help. He continued to run. He assumed the frogs had ripped him to shreds by this point. He got into the fan boat and shot out to their island, grabbed all their money and everything, burned down the shack, but he left the supply shack alone in case the Voodoo Queen went out there. She could have where was left of their hidden stock, and he fled. And that was 10 years ago. His remembrance was broken by a horn honking and some guy bumping his shoulder telling him to watch where he's going, asshole. And in the eye of the frog he saw reflected back to him was the Voodoo Queen. She gave him a knowing wink and a sly smile, and a cold sense of dread filled him as the frog sank back into the puddle and vanished. He felt the walls closing around him. Sam had always said in for a penny, in for a pound, and he knew with certainty that pound was coming. It had started to rain again, and he stepped off into the street corner, into the unknown night.